Hello, beautiful Capricorn, and welcome back to Unbound Soul Tarot. My name is Helen, and I am super excited to do this little reading for you, looking into the month of September 2024. So I felt called to do this. So, if you've been following my channel for a while, then you may be surprised to see these zodiacal sign readings, but that's what we're doing. And the way that this reading is going to go is that we're going to look at what is the general energy that you are going to be facing, the potential block or challenge that will be coming up for you, a positive that you will be experiencing in the month, and also the main lesson that you can potentially learn. And we're also going to look at more information around that as well. So it's going to be hopefully a very interesting reading, and one that will give you a lot of insight to prepare you for the month ahead. But just as a side note, I am aiming this reading for Capricorn, Sun and Rising specifically. If you are a Capricorn Moon, you can watch this too. Or if you have any other placements in Capricorn, feel free to watch this, of course. But I am mostly aiming it towards the Sun and Rising signs. So as always, this is a general reading, so take what resonates and leave what doesn't. And I guess that's it. That's all I wanted to say. Anyway, so we're starting off with your energy for the month of September. So let's see what sort of energy is coming through for my Capricorns for the month of September 2024. Okay, beautiful. And let's look at the energy that is going to be surrounding you. So the energy around Capricorns in September. What sort of energy is going to be surrounding Capricorns? Okay, lovely. Okay, and let's get the general cards out too, and then we will talk about everything in more detail. Okay, Capricorn, so starting off with the energy that is representing your energy in the month of September, we have this gratitude card. And so this is making me feel that you are going to be much more in an energy of just feeling really appreciative of the energy that, you are sort of blessed with in your life. You are sort of starting to notice or starting to feel much more strongly the ways in which you are like blessed or gifted, or where you really feel like you have succeeded, or where there is a lot of abundance in your life. And it's kind of an interesting one, because especially for Capricorns, the archetype of Capricorn is very well known for its ambition, right? Its need to achieve and its need to climb the metaphorical ladder and reach ever higher heights, right? And so this notion of just sort of being like really content, or being really grateful for the things that you already have is possibly somewhat of an interesting one, or I at least wasn't honestly expecting this card to come through. Not to say that you can't be, grateful or appreciative of the things that you have, but it's just with the Capricorn archetype, it's common to not really allow yourself the downtime to enjoy things, and it's just much more focused on the achieving aspect, and then moving on to the next thing, right, as soon as that thing is achieved. But it feels like in the month of September, you are sort of taking like time out a bit in the sense, or at least like noticing a lot of these more positive things in your life, possibly because maybe you see other people around you struggling a lot more, or something around you is like causing this like level of contrast that really sort of makes you realize how like blessed and gifted you truly are, and how many things you have in your life that you that you should be grateful for, because maybe a lot of people they don't have the type of things that you have, right? Or even the skills and the gifts and everything that you have at your disposal. So it's actually really nice. It's a very, very sweet and sort of lovely energy. But the energy around you is also very interesting, because we have this like solar system card, which to me is about like the universe and like divinity, fate, destiny, that type of energy. And so it seems like, you know, it's almost like things are aligning for you, or like there is some sort of like divine intervention that is going to be coming up for you in the month of September. Yeah, like you're going to be experiencing some sort of like fated events, or things like falling into place, things being orchestrated specifically for you in the way that they are supposed to. And so that could also be the reason why, you know, you are feeling this sense of gratitude, or why you are feeling this sense of appreciation, because maybe something that you have been manifesting or wishing or just working towards for a very long time is like finally coming around, or you are starting to see some things like fall into place. So this is really interesting energy. But yeah, it just feels... it feels lovely. That's all I'm going to say. Now, moving on to the cards about the month itself, we first have this Bear card, and this is talking about the general energy of the month for you. And so your spiritual team, your guides, your ancestors, your guardian angels, whoever you really resonate with, even your higher self, if you are spiritually sort of inclined like that, then I do feel like you are going to be feeling their presence like more strongly, or that sort of aspect of life is going to be somewhat more prominent in the month. Most likely, again, because I feel like something is sort of like falling into place for you, or things are like aligning without you even necessarily having like too much participation in it. Because I feel like whatever the things that are falling into place are, I feel like your part is already done, if that makes sense, or you have done your part already in the past, and so now you are sort of seeing the universe like fall in line as well. But yeah, this feels very like spiritual and very supportive. Also, I feel like the energy of just feeling the sense of being protected or feeling very safe, that is also like coming up big time with this Bear energy. But the interesting thing is this next card, because this is talking about the potential block or challenge that you are going to be experiencing. This kind of gives me the feeling of like you possibly like, I don't know, some fears being possibly like emphasized or being brought to the surface because of how things are like working out without, you know, you necessarily managing them, or you consciously manipulating them, if that makes sense. So this is kind of like having to surrender, or feeling like you are powerless, like there are outside forces that are working some sort of magic in your life without you being necessarily in the driver's seat. And that could be the thing that is like freaking you out a bit as well. You may be having a bit of a difficult time accepting it, or just sort of going along with it. So again, it's sort of interesting, because I feel like for the majority of the month, like you are actually so very protected and like taken care of and looked after, but you may be having a difficult time like seeing it or feeling it, even though I like you have this like gratitude and this feeling of being grateful for the things that you see that are manifesting, or the things that some sort of achievements that are happening, or like some fruits of your labor that you see coming about. But yeah, there could be an aspect of that is also like a bit frightening, because it could feel like things are like not in your control. So yeah, there's an interesting aspect of that. So I don't know, possibly this could also be an element of like praying, or yeah, just sort of seeking out some sort of higher force. Now, it doesn't have to mean that you are religious, but it could just be, you know, like especially if you are not religious, and especially if you are not like spiritual in that sense, you could actually be like surprised by feeling the need to like reach out to something, or ask for some sort of like support or guidance or something like that. I don't know. This is a very specific message, so I'm just sort of putting it out there in case it resonates for someone. But yeah, mostly this feels like gratitude, as I already said. Now, moving on to the positive that you are going to be feeling in the month, or experiencing in the month of September. We have this card over here. And obviously this is like very much talking about like nature, and feeling feeling very grounded or feeling very in touch with like the physicality, the natural world. But I also feel like because we have this beautiful like sunshine coming through the trees, it almost feels like there is some sort of clarity, or there is some sort of again illumination that is happening, right? Where like you possibly have been like trudging or working towards something, and now finally you're starting to see like the light shining through, you know, at the end of the tunnel, almost like that type of energy. And so that's also why I feel like there are going to be some like little signs or little inklings of like things working out very beautifully for you, or giving you a sense of like peace, or giving you a sense of, again, just this like admiration or gratitude, like these beautiful, beautiful feelings. And it also could represent that maybe in the month of September, you will have a chance to like spend some time recharging your batteries, or taking a break from like your usual responsibilities. Maybe you are having the opportunity to I don't know, go on a hike or go on a retreat somewhere, take a road trip, just, you know, spend time doing things that like really like ground you and calm you and give you a sense of like respite. I don't know. But yeah, it's beautiful energy. And finally, we have the main lesson that you can potentially learn. And we have this card of confusion, literally, like not knowing what is going on, what is happening, or, you know, what to do. So basically, this is saying that, you know, again, having the opportunity to learn being okay with not knowing exactly what is going to be happening next. Because, you know, it feels very much like most of the time you are so in control of things, Capricorn. You are the one who is making things happen and sort of, you know, determining the course of things, how they happen, and making sure that every like step is planned and everything is going the way that it's supposed to go. And so this like potential of chaos or unknown, or just like not being in control of things, that could potentially be something that, again, I feel like is somewhat like challenging or almost, you know, even triggering for you, for some of you. But I feel like it is actually a beautiful growing point or potential learning curve that, you know, even if you are not constantly managing and sort of supervising everything 100% of the time, things still work out beautifully. And so I feel like that's what potentially September can teach you. So let's look at the potential outcomes of all of these areas. Let's see where these situations could lead you. So let's start with the beautiful elephant, which came out as the potential outcome for your general energy. And this is all about blazing a trail or illuminating the path ahead. And so, as I said, this actually feels, this is a very spiritual card in nature too. And so, yeah, this is basically just saying that this whole, you know, beautiful energy of being protected and guided is actually taking you exactly where you're meant to go, and it's going to show you, illuminate the path, or, you know, like really bring you a lot of good luck as well, because this is also somewhat tied to the Ganesha in the, I believe it's like it's Hinduism, or I'm sorry if I'm, you know, mistaken in that, but basically, you know, Ganesha is representing the removal of obstacles, of like good luck and fortune befalling you. And so again, I feel like this month you can potentially actually, you know, find yourself in very fortunate situations or very fortunate circumstances, again, where sort of the universe is just helping you out and taking you where you're meant to go, and really like protecting and guiding you during this time. So this is amazing. Probably like one of the best readings that I've done so far. But anyway, moving on, we have this beautiful dolphin energy. And this is talking about the potential outcome for the block or challenge, which, as we were already talking about, is about, you may be feeling a bit uncomfortable with the aspect of letting go of control, right? Feeling out of control. But with dolphin, this is actually saying that, potentially out of this discomfort, you can actually find yourself in a position where you feel a lot more carefree and a lot easier and lighter. Like you don't always have to carry such a burden, or you don't always have to carry such responsibility. And be so serious all the time. And I'm not saying that you are serious all the time, but it can sort of become more of a serious existence when you feel like you always have to be the sensible and responsible one, right? And I mean, Capricorn is infamous for constantly being the one to like take the responsibility for themselves and for others. So with this dolphin energy, this is just saying that you actually have the potential to see life from a lot more like joyful and like carefree and joyous. Joyful, I already said that, sorry. But yeah, basically carefree and happy and a lot less like restricted or tied down, like that type of space. You can actually see how, life doesn't always have to be so difficult and so hard, and you can just sort of be in that positive, enjoying energy and sort of see things in a much more colorful way. So it's a very, very nice energy with this dolphin card, I do have to say. And I'm loving it for you, Capricorn. We also have this butterfly, and this is talking about the potential outcome for the positive that you are going to be experiencing. So as this is like actually saying that, there is going to potentially be a beautiful transformation that is going to be occurring for you, where, again, some sort of like preparation that has taken a long time, just like the butterfly coming out of its cocoon, right? And finally being able to like stretch its wings. I feel like that is the outcome, like finalizing that transformation or finalizing that transition and going through this change of finally like starting to see, as I said, the fruits of your labor or the rewards in some way. This can also talk about, again, because butterflies are very much a symbol of beauty and freedom and just joy and like just living life to the fullest as well, because their lifespan is really not that long, and so all they really do during their lifespan is just enjoy life, and that's it. And so I feel like the positive that you get to experience in the month of September is actually, again, having this sense of like freedom, or having this sense of being able to like spread your wings and just like take life more easily, just enjoy yourself a lot more, or just find these like pockets of time, or even if it's not all the time, obviously, because you still have responsibilities and things that you need to do, but that there are going to be these times where you're able to take time out and really like just enjoy yourself and enjoy life and do what you feel like doing. And finally, we have this moth energy, and this is the potential outcome for the main lesson that you can potentially learn, which was again all about allowing this sense of like confusion and not knowing where life is going to take you, or not constantly planning like 10 steps ahead, right? With this moth energy, I feel like this is actually granting you the opportunity to get more like enthused and more excited about trying new things as well, because the moth is very much about like trying different things, like going from one thing to the next. And I mean, this is not the best energy to like get stuck in, definitely, because this is counterproductive to what it is that you usually do, which is all about seeing things through to the end and getting to that finish line and seeing your sort of hard work pay off. This is much more about just sort of being like experimenting and playful and following any like sparks or little sources of imagination, anything that like calls out to you in the moment, and seeing where it takes you. So I feel like it's again sort of encouraging more of this, just being a bit more exploratory, right? Like not having everything so set up, so planned, even if it's just about learning to sometimes make plans with a little bit of like leeway, or not putting every single detail in place, and not like planning the whole itinerary where you go when you go on a trip or something like that. Just sort of leaving something like a little, to the imagination, or just to the spur of the moment inspiration, or just being a bit spontaneous every now and then, like that type of thing. But let's finally look at the advice that Spirit has for you to deal with all of these things in the best way, and then we'll be done. Okay, so let's start off with the Fool card, which is such beautiful energy, and I love that that came out for you as advice. I do have to say it's getting a bit repetitive, so I'm just going to sort of brush over this one quickly, because the advice here is really just about, again, letting go, sort of trusting in the universe, trusting in your spirit guides. Again, even if you don't believe in those types of more like spiritual things, and you're much more the practical type, try to like see things from a more playful perspective, or even just just like sort of relinquishing control a bit, or playing around with being a bit like reckless, or being a bit like not so cautious all the time, right? Because I feel like you are supported, like the universe has your back, and I'm obviously not saying or condoning any sort of like ridiculously stupid behavior or reckless things like that, but just like little ways where you can be more playful, or where you can sort of ease up a bit more and allow for like life to surprise you. Just sort of just trying little sort of playful things. I was thinking of if I can give you like an example of anything, not really specifically, but even if it's just about, that you need to, I don't know, go grocery shopping or something like that. And let's say that you always sort of plan ahead which shop to go to for like, I don't know, the best deals, or for the items that you need specifically, and that they're always in one specific shop, then maybe just, like throwing caution to the wind and going to like a random store that you have never gone to before, and just like, seeing what is there, what you can find over there. And maybe life will surprise you, and maybe you'll find even better deals, or even better products that you maybe were planning on purchasing, right? So I don't know, it's most likely like a stupid example, but hopefully it will give you an idea of like what I mean by just being a bit more like playful and a bit more trusting, and allowing that, life will show up for you, or, the universe has your back in that type of way. But anyway, next up we have the Sun card, which came out in reverse, but I'm going to show it to you upwards as well. This is a card of Leo. Because it's obviously the sun, right? So it's the card of the sun, and the sun rules Leo. So but even if it comes out in reverse, it is still a very, very positive card, because it is the most positive card in the tarot. But with this advice coming out for your sort of this blocked or challenging aspect, what I feel like this is saying is that I feel like Spirit is trying to encourage you to have more fun with the process of things, rather than just like, seeing success as reaching some sort of goal, or reaching that finish line, right? Trying to find joy, trying to find meaning in the process as well, even if it is, not exactly going according to plan, or even if things go wrong sometimes, or you take some wrong turns every now and then. I feel like being okay with that, or trying to find the positives in that as well. Like how something, even like going wrong by your standards, how that can still like teach you something, or how that can still be useful or valuable to you in some way. And I also feel like, because the Sun card, especially when it's coming out in in the upright position, can very often talk about like constantly being under pressure to like perform, and to take on new things, and sort of excel at something, or to, be in that like ambitious energy, which you are again so very good at. But when it's coming out in reverse, I feel like the advice is to, again, like allow yourself a breather as well, you know, that you know, you don't always have to put your best foot forward, and you don't always have to show people exactly how incredible and talented and capable you are, because I mean, most likely people already know that about you. So there's this aspect of like not feeling like you constantly need to prove yourself to others to feel worthy or to feel valuable, because the value already exists. And so allowing yourself to sort of, again, take things a bit more easy every now and then, I feel like that will do you a lot of good. We also have the Four of Cups coming out, which is advice for the sort of the positive that you're going to be experiencing. And so this very much, I feel like, is also reminding us about the importance, or reminding you specifically about the importance of just sort of taking the time to like really sit with yourself and feel what it is that you need, and whether you actually like, you know, paying attention to your own needs and taking care of those needs, allowing yourself the time to, again, recharge and to sort of just like tune everything else out, right? Like this is the card of just, you know, sitting with your emotions and sifting through them and seeing what truly matters to you and what doesn't, and whether, you know, things are really making you happy the way that they are, maybe something needs to change. So sort of being in that like introspective space a bit. But I also feel like, you know, very clearly with the guy looking completely away in a different direction from the cup, right? I also feel like this is a message of, again, like being mindful of how much you take on board or how much you say yes to things, most likely out of like obligation or out of feeling some sort of pressure, because I feel like it's very important for you to, again, like pay attention to what your soul may be needing, or what your like more the spiritual aspect of you may be needing, even the physical aspect of you, right? Like paying attention to not burn yourself out with all of these things that you take on board and all of these responsibilities that you feel obligated to look after. Training that sense of, you know, turning things down because maybe you don't actually have the physical reserves or the energy reserves, or even like the time, right? Maybe you don't have these resources to take something on and to manage new things. And so being like respectful of yourself in that regard as well, and looking more after your own needs. I feel like that is a very important message here. And last but not least, we have this beautiful 8 of Wands coming through as advice for the main lesson that you can potentially learn. And so this again is all about like excitement and momentum and movement, right? Enjoy the ride and see where like life takes you, and sort of be like excited about it rather than being afraid, or being somewhat like you know, cautious about not being in the driver's seat, so to say. Like you can see that as well. Like that guy is just sort of like flowing with the wands, and like the universe is propelling him forward, and he's just like enjoying the ride. It's almost like he's surfing the waves, right? He's not actually steering anything. He's not in control like that, but he knows that he's going to get to exactly where he needs to go. Like that's the main sort of message or element here. And so I feel like this is just, you know, universe's way of saying to, again, like enjoy the ride rather than be like freaked out about it. Because again, the 8 of Wands is a very auspicious card. It's saying that you are exactly on the path to where you are meant to go. You are moving towards your desired destination or goal, and it's happening very quickly. But yeah, it's most likely, you know, it could be something that is somewhat out of your hand as well. So yeah, okay, I feel like I've talked so much, so I'm going to stop talking now. Thank you so much, my beautiful Capricorn. I hope that you enjoyed this reading. If this reading spoke to you, or even if you like, you know, come back to it in the month of September and you just want to sort of refresh your memory and see what like resonated and what didn't, I would love to hear from you, to just know how this whole thing played out. And you can leave me a thumbs up or just a comment in the comment section letting me know that this resonated with you. Of course, if you subscribe, that would mean so much to me, because I would love to know that you want to see more from this channel and more from me. But yeah, if I don't see you in any of the other readings, then I am wishing you all the best, the most amazing September. It feels like it's going to be a really great one for you guys. And I hope to see you very soon in one of my next readings. Take care. Bye bye.